Hey everybody, welcome to day 896 of eating a sheet of paper a day. Wait, hold on. Pre-stream cough. Now my throat's clear. The paper eating shall commence. Small pieces, as always. And we're going to score yesterday. Been fucking that up last week, but we will save it. I'm going to be nice and consistent, not just with streaming, which, by the way, I know, 5th stream in a row. Thank you. You're welcome. But yesterday's okay. Let me look at what was yesterday. Friday. Oh, what a terrible day that was. Big headache. It seems like physically I'm getting worse. The yeast infection, skin tickle, abdominal pain thing, that's gone. So I know I don't have bowel cancer, but also I might have bowel cancer because these bad headaches are so splitting. It's making me a little paranoid. It's been 2.5 weeks. The headaches are still there, you know? Whenever I physically exert myself, say rollerblading or masturbating or whatever, I seem to just get an automatic headache after. Isn't that weird? There's got to be some sort of chemical process going on in my head. A headache doesn't come from nothing. I wish we were connected to OBS so I could Google headache causes. I guess I'll have to do this on my phone. And let's just introduce a couple. Hello, Chai, and hello, four hieroglyphs Rex. I'm sure that means something. Wang ding doing doing Rex. Paper, and hello. And remember, guys, give your numbers, be mathematical about this. My score for yesterday, oh no. It's a 5.5 out of 10. Just barely crossing the cusp of average. Just barely. Miserable. I think I would rather be shocked to tears at how shit a day is than bored to tears at how mediocre and middle of the road it is. The best thing, the only thing saving yesterday from being in the 3 zone was the fact that I managed to get work canceled in this particular era of very demanding summer work. And now I managed to decrease my shift count for next week, meaning I only have 3 shifts before I'm done and my life goes through a significant shift. So one thing I want to warn everybody about, for me personally, I am all about routine. However, my relationship with the abstract idea of routine is very double-sided and complicated because on one hand, maintaining a consistent routine keeps my head on straight. And I think it does overall benefit my life, but it's a bit of a weird paradox because my reliance on a consistent routine has now kind of capsized me because this particular semester of college is tumultuous. I'm going through multiple things right now, be it the uncertainty of the future with my job switch up. I have not gone through a proper job switch up in over a year and not a full permanent job switch up like this. That's this insane in 4 years. Plus this whole thing with Toastmasters. I don't even and people moving away. My sister and my best friend both moving away to college, either one state away or an entire continent away. All of these things are happening at once, contributing to the perfect storm, you could say. And of course, I'm sure all of you are sharing my misery. Oh man, dude, kids in coal mines don't know his suffering. So I'm sure after describing these harrowing life situations, you're probably understanding why I have a headache right now. So I'd like to think it's not a medical thing and I don't have like skull bone marrow cancer and it's instead my head hurting from the true brunt of how terrible my life is right now. I know it's more terrible to me than anybody else on the planet. When I describe it, I'm like, okay, that's just like mildly irritating, but it sucks. It fucking sucks. And yes, Dom is moving all the way to New York, man. He intends to visit us not every holiday. He's definitely a stationary kind of guy. So it's kind of going to be on me and my family to purchase plane tickets. So lack of accessibility to people. That's fucked me over with some of my closest friends in the past. However, Dom's a very special fella. So I predict that I think, it won't be as bad as I think it is. However, if I try to be optimistic and go, oh, it won't be nothing, then that's also too optimistic. Then I'll be disappointed. Ugh, God, it's, the more I think about it, the more of a headache I get. But keep note that scores for yesterday. This will not be put in writing because I'm breaking the rules, so don't tell anybody. But my score for today, because I'm working tonight, which sucks, it's going to be so far a 4.9. Almost average. So fucking close. But this headache's been killing me. I goobed it up earlier today, and it's like it's annoying how I can't, how a man can't get his rocks off without having his head hurt. I think it's this mental complication thing. Like anytime I do anything, it's actual like 97 degrees outside right now, so I was trying to do the rollerblading thing in the morning. That killed me, but that didn't contribute to the headache, you see? It's just I can't, fulfill my deepest desires without fucking, getting this chronic headache. And by the way, I've been timing it. It lasted 2 hours. Like it's just going away, but it's like that has to do something to a man. If in the back of your head, like, listen, if I engage in recreational pleasure, you're gonna have a headache for 2.5 fucking hours. Like that kind of makes your life worse, doesn't it? But whatever. When hopefully this headache thing goes away, hopefully it doesn't persist into my 30s. Hopefully it goes away within a matter of hopefully a month. It's been like 2.5 weeks of this constantly. Makes my life worse. So perhaps it'll go away given soon, given like the next week, 2 weeks, a month total of this treacherous headache curse. Been taking as many Advils as, medically is recommended, without overdosing or nothing. Advils don't do shit. Anyways, 4 out of 10 for me. Shai says, some rat in my house ate my flowers. It lives in my house rent free. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, that rat doesn't gain access to food. It has to rob you. It's in constant risk of death, stuff like that. Ibuprofen. I don't think I'll be able to find that specific brand, but I get what you mean. Yeah, I've been taking every single permutation of headache painkiller I can find. It all works basically the same. Most of it feels like placebo effect. 7 out of 10 for me. Very good. I like how you put the extra effort into typing the words out of when you could have just typed the slash like everybody else, but I appreciate it, man. You're different. That's good, dude. Moses, turnaround. Is it because you're eating food finally? I'm very proud of you. I remember when I was in a Del Mar house, this was for one summer. It's so weird how slow time moves when you're younger, but I used to live in this house for the summer in between 4th and 5th grade. And this is a very small house. In fact, it's a bit of a point of kind of slight melancholy nostalgia because some of the earliest videos I ever made were in that house on that computer because I used this Alice program. And I recorded so many recordings of me having these stupidest skits with the craziest vocal inflections. I gave some of the performances of a lifetime. I should have been given a couple medals for it. However, because we never thought to back any of the files up, every single one of these is lost to time. I have one of my greatest skits memorized, which is the war between the green alien and adult person 15. It's very embarrassing, and also my voice has deepened since this. So most of the inflections I can't pull off without sounding ridiculous, and it's a very long skit. I have memorized almost all of it, except I forgot my favorite part. There's a particular vocal freakout that adult person 15 has when his masculinity is questioned by the green alien. And for some reason, the exact words of it, I never got back in my head. And again, the files have been deleted for over a decade now, so that really sucks. We had the old PC that I went on. I don't know where we put it. It has to be in the garage. Oh, if it's in the garage, it's like 100 degrees in there. That thing's beyond salvaging. Then in that case, okay, let's catch up. I'm used to small headaches and shit. Oh, no. This is, I mean, for one, I am used to shit too. I do it every day, but this is not a small headache. This is like huge splitting headache. Like in the middle of goobing, I had to literally like, it came out of nowhere. It's not like a slight thing. It's like when I'm working, I'm like, I'm straining the back of my neck and it like cracks something. And there's no crack, but it's like out of nowhere, this insane splitting pain goes. It's like through the back of my head up through here. And like I actually double over. I'm like I have to take like a solid 30 seconds to just control how insanely painful it is. That shit's not normal, The earliest doctor's appointment I can get through the stupid Sharp app is in October. I'll be dead by then. Does ice help or hurt? Oh shit, that's a good idea. I've never tried that. I should probably do that. This is how it goes every single time I complain about some sort of like physical complication. They like name I tried everything, dude, and they're like, have you tried like a basic thing that everybody tries? And I never tried it, so whoops. Terrible work day, 2 out of 10. But I went to the Chick-fil-A that my buddy works at and harassed them. Harassing people at Chick-fil-A always brings stuff up at least by 1.5 points. So I'm glad you experienced that. If that didn't happen, I wonder what your score would be. That's a monumentally awful day. They started off weird. Also, please specify what harassment means. I'd like to kind of get a greater picture of how funny this was. I'm excited to hear. They started off weird, though. My cat brought me an offering in the form of a mutated sparrow. Typical Moses wording, like 2014 meme type wording. You always speak like a 2014 meme poet. I just whenever I read your stuff, I imagine it's just an impact font. But that's cool. I mean, I don't know if your cat bringing you free meat, if that'll make your day better or worse. I don't think it's FDA approved. You might catch some diseases, so I guarantee you probably just swept it up with a broom and threw it away. That's a pretty neutral start to your day. That's not very notable at all, but this is good. You're giving us a good run through diagnostic of your day. It put a hole in my backpack so it could get into the lunchbox that was in my backpack. Was so sad. Oh, you're saying, oh, your rat, the rat chewed through your backpack? It's a very determined rat. Your house must be very barren of food, or you guys must have a Roomba or something like that, because normally rats can just subsist off of just crumbs on the floor if you guys are sloppy, but maybe you guys just use plates like weirdos. My behind the wheel test is in 10 days. You have 10 days left to live, Moses. My condolences to you. Yeah, you know what I should do? I like maybe 2% of the headache is left. I'm just gonna get some ice. We actually have a big bag of ice now. Our fridge is incapable of making ice, so all water that I'd pour would be room temperature. You know, not that I need cold water, but I'm gonna see if I can just get like some ice and like put it in like a, I don't know, a paper towel or something. I'm just gonna test this out. Give me a second. Also, quick question. If I were to make it a regular routine to exercise in the morning, would it be good to exercise before I eat breakfast because exercising allegedly builds up appetite? This is such a boring ass question. Or would it be better to eat breakfast first to gain the energy to exercise and then exercise? Like, I know, I feel like the last demographic of people I should be asking for health advice is you guys, but don't take it as an insult. I'm asking you anyway. So give me your honest opinion. Chai sent you a message. Oh, hold on. They said that I jump scared them because I didn't tell them I was coming. Then I was just talking to them, puking out all the brain waste I could while I disassociate after spicy chicken sandwich. That's not harassment, man. That's just keeping your workmate on their toes so they can have cat-like reflexes for their job, and then just dumping about, I guess, I saw Brianna's paper stream today. I'm Asian and I play the drums. This is you, not me. I don't know too much about you, so I'm just imagining what alleged brain waste you'd have in your head. This is me reenacting. That's not harassment. That's basic conversation following a basic reflex test. I assume he had good reflexes. If you're at Chick-fil-A, they not only test how agnostic you are, but also they test how quickly you can react to, say, if somebody of an alternate religion comes into Chick-fil-A with a gun. That's happened before, 2018 controversy. Or if a customer complains that a fly landed in their Chick-fil-A lemonade, yada, yada. You know how food service works. Big reason why I'm moving away from it. Sick of it. No offense to Pizza Port or nothing. It's just the entirety of the food service industry. Given the food service industry, Pizza Port's very great. I can maintain a lot of my humanity relative to, say, if I were working at Carl's Jr. Those guys are automatons. Their work training is actual Clockwork Orange levels of brain remelding. So I'm glad that I'm able to approach my job as me. Although with any other job I could take, I'm trying to make it reliant on the power of speech. So if that's what's happening, hopefully I won't have to, do the whole professional, yes, sir, I'm a wage slave. Please, would you like to order a sandwich type thing? I've never been good at that. And whenever I'm put in those situations, I never abide by that. Not to have a sense of pride about the whole thing. I'm just incapable of doing stuff like that. And if I was, I wouldn't want to anyways. Okay. I like how you notify me on here that you sent me a message confirming that this is in fact not you. I was so confused. But it's nice to see you on the internet, which is great. It's good that we are connecting through many different outlets. It's interesting. If you remember Myra, you had I think brief conversation with her. We had short conversation, and I'm more of a voice message guy. So, the fact that I texted something to you with my fingers is quite uncommon. Most of the time, it's like 2 to 4 minute long yapping sessions, which I feel like is pretty on brand for me. And I send it to people. I don't even remember what we talked about, but it was more along the lines of how in Britain, just the high school social environment is so oppressive that this random person in this random country, Britain's not really random, they're the reason America exists, but you get what I'm saying. Someone with very few degrees of connection to me somehow found this channel and is watching me, almost in spite of their shitty school experience, which is a very similar reason as to why I created this YouTube channel. I created this YouTube channel to piss off my video film teacher. Well, I created my main channel to do that. I created this channel because of the main channel I created to piss off my video film teacher. So, school creates everything. If it weren't for the public education system, we would never have any YouTube channels. We wouldn't do shit. We'd be walking in forests and eating leaves and doing primitive shit like that. Okay, hold on. Not for nothing, but I do believe that this is good because it's refreshing. Headaches happen from dehydration, by the way. So don't even get on my case. Doing this just passes right through, right? Like a train through a tunnel, minus in this analogy, like the exhaust coming from the train. There's no pollution happening. I pinky promise you. Again, my team of researchers has confirmed this. The main benefit is the water. Remember when I used to, use Coke to down it? It would make it easier culinarily speaking, but health-wise, 'twas a disaster. What this gives me is essentially more hydration and allows for me to commit to something during the day so I can actually feel like I achieved something rather than woke up, screwed around, gave myself a headache by masturbating and went to work and was miserable, right? I mean, that's your average Gen Z experience. And, there are solitary moments in days where I'm like, hey, wait a fucking second. This is literally my life now. You got to be kidding me. It's only like 3 days a year, by the way, and this is a real funky week. Normally my days are filled with achievement and self-empowerment. And I wake up, I buy my mother some flowers, I inflate a waffle balloon, I do a bunch of shit. So, I mean, this headache thing, it's just it's this medical thing. It's clearly like it's the sniffles and the phlegm production, the allergies. It's just everything combining together. I should have actually, I should have gone to a doctor last week and got it checked out. I still have your cola jacket. I think I'm going to keep it. Hey, man, rent for that thing is $20 an hour. So we're going to break out the calculator app in a month, and I'm going to calculate your rate that you owe me. My Venmo is at Unexpected Music. We changed it from Ass Nipple because as much as I'd like to keep that name, when I'd go to gigs, I would mysteriously not get hired back when the excited venue owners would go, oh, man, what's your Venmo? So I can send the digital pay over to you. And I go at assnipple_1. So if anybody wants to take the Venmo domain of assnipple_1, quickly snatch it before someone else does. Okay. Grace, what's up, man? 5 out of 10 because all of the looming fear of exams. Oh, I also forgot about that when I was talking about the perfect storm earlier. For further context, Grace, you can play the stream back, which, we're 17 minutes in. Never mind. I don't want to put you through that. Don't do that. But in a nutshell, yeah, a lot of medical things, a lot of people moving away, a lot of other complications. It's all happening at once. And I completely forgot. Yeah, I do have one of my finals. I'm taking 2 classes, right? Pretty light work. One of them I got an automatic A+ because of the debate awards I got from the competition thing, which is cool. And then the second thing is, psychology, the worst class ever. It sucks. So, I guess cross my fingers because we already took the midterm for that. And tell me if this sounds familiar to you because you guys are students as well. The study guide had nothing to do with the fucking thing. Like we studied through the study guide intensively. And this is not just a me problem. We had a group of like 4 to 5 people scouring through the study guide and finding the objective answers. They even use experimental generative AI to find the answers. So it was totally credible. Checked multiple sources for each answer. It all matched up. And we went to the midterm and none of the questions had anything to do with anything that was in the study guide. Not just that, but nothing that was discussed in class had anything to do with the goddamn midterm. I'm telling you, it was awful. And there's this extreme sense of nihilism. It's like, on one hand, I understand the appeal of the class because people who actually don't want to put the work in to study can just kick back and chat it up with Mr. Galagos or Professor Galagos about gay genes and whether or not gayness is nature v nurture. Like, those conversations were fun, especially because Galagos is an actual cartoon character, and it's always fun to see him be super squirrely with these topics because he actually doesn't know anything about them. Like, me and a couple other people were fact-checking him every 5 minutes, but if only the price to pay for a class that doubles as a fun podcast weren't my GPA. I need to avoid getting back on academic probation. You thought that my psychology teacher video was a joke. Everything on that video is true. Go to my main channel, Good Content, the latest video. You'll find a bunch of important context there. but I would like to get at least a B in this class. And the only 2 grades in the entire class is the midterm and the final. And based on how his class operates, even if I look at every single resource he provides, which I've already done, there is no way to predict or even know half the answers of the questions on this goddamn midterm and final. And I know the final is just going to be a rinse, wash, repeat of the midterm. What I think is, I think this professor, he's just waiting to retire. He's just biding his time and twiddling his dick while we get mixed results in this class. He doesn't care if that number goes down for him, although it fucks our GPA over. Never again, man. Never again. What matters a lot about classes like these, especially in college, is the rate your professor score. Like, I got to research these professors before I get in there, because he really seemed cool the first day. And I'm like, oh yeah, I won't drop the class, and I'll drop 2 other classes I don't want to take. Should have stuck with the other ones, because like this one, sometimes it's just by the time you realize how the class is structured and how it's antithetical to proper grade performance, it's far too late, you know. Yeah, if you happen to be like 1 in like 150 chance you're like in the area, yeah, don't take Gallegos' class. Gallegos. I think that's how you spell it. I think it's Spanish, so I think it's supposed to be Gallegos. I'm not doing him that honor though, man. If his class was put together at least to some semblance of a degree, I would I would turn into a Spanish person for 2 seconds while I pronounce his name every time. You know, when you're like at a jam set. Well, I don't know how many of you people go to a jam session, but whenever you go to a place where people are very respecting of a certain language or culture, and they it's clearly a non-Spanish person saying a Spanish word, and then they adopt the accent for 2 seconds. Where I don't know. I can't think of a good example of this. I was never good at Spanish, but like if someone is at a jam session and they're like, "Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Charlie, and today we're gonna play some Afro-Cuban beats." You know when you know what I'm saying, right? It's hard to describe, but they change their accent. They reverse their or not reverse. They ethnically morph for one word while they just try and get like that little accent in the lip rolls and the tongue little thing in whatever accent or whatever language you have to say. And I'm just like, okay, come on, you're not Spanish. There's no point to try. It's just so surreal. It's like a brain worm got into your head and and forced you to say a word, and then you crawled out of your ear right after saying that word. It's like when they do the tongue roll, you would never do that. It's like people just force themselves to like practice in the mirror what proper accent to say this word with, just so they can, not offend people. They don't want to sound like a white person mispronouncing words. So whenever a Spanish word comes in, they're supposed to, pay homage to a culture. It's like, today we're going to be playing some Afro-Cuban beats, so make sure to play along with us. I'm like, okay, yeah, every part of that sentence was normal and in character except for that one word that you're very clearly trying to pay respect. What is the price of that? Because it just seems very phony and bizarre. I'm losing viewers right now because I'm going on this tangent right now, but I'm staying with my guns here. I'm serious. It's stupid. All right. Now, with that gripe out of the way, let's eat the rest of this paper. Still here. You see, I knew one of you was based. Okay, hold on. Let me just... This is a lot of fucking paper. I've been doing no eating, just mainly talking today. I guess I got a lot to say. Well, that's a good thing, I guess, but, All right, let's get strictly to consumption. Paper 2. That's right, the sequel. Electric Boogaloo. I like these small pieces. Okay, it looks alarming. It's a lot of pieces, but each one's relatively small. It shouldn't be the biggest deal. If anything, eating it's refreshing, which I never thought I'd say. Okay, listen, Jocelyn, let me explain. We are ending the series at day 1000. If I already committed to like almost 900 days, to not get to day 1000, that's a no-brainer, man. Also, every single medical complication we found, Rathbun confirmed. It had to do with psychosomatic asthma. It had to do with a bunch of other shit that had nothing to do with the paper. Also, we looked into the chemical components of paper. Oh, I didn't tell. You're going to die. Aren't we all? But listen. I'll tell you all the context later. Jocelyn, just text me. We'll hang out. It's been a while since we've hung out. I promise you, we will find... Now, God damn it. We have not found any correlation between medical complications. I'm sure there are some long-term negative effects, and I probably will die at age 25. However, this series is going to end in less than half a year. Day 1000. Like, let's do the math. That's 104 days. Only 104 measly pieces of paper yet to be eaten. And bada bing, bada bang, I'm going to start a new live streaming series and die in my mid-20s. It's no big deal. Must be hella lore here that I'm unaware of. You know, what's really interesting is I feel like there is kind of a mutual connection because Shy started kind of losing it when Jocelyn came in, which makes me assume that Shy knows her. So, in the words of Shy, OMG, brew, and no, I feel like there's no reaction to that makes any sense rather than Jocelyn coming in. Perhaps I'm reading into it too much. No, I don't. What the hell are these reactions for? Did something in my stream become extra alarming? I don't know nobody here but you. Well, Jocelyn, feel like coming to the stream regularly. We've had lots of supposed faux internet doctors with PhDs coming in, and they all tell me I'm gonna die. I'm still here, bitch. So, the bitches in this particular scenario are, the past doctors who are no longer in the stream, not you, all right? You ain't no bitch. No matter how much you hold me accountable. So, I don't know anybody. I just got recommended reading paper. Yeah. No, it's interesting. No, it just the timing of it was interesting because like Shy was quite relatively neutral, and then she started freaking out right when Jocelyn came in. So that was interesting. Okay, never mind. Love you too, Bri. Oh, thank you. Yeah, no, Jocelyn, we'll meet up and we'll have a good discussion. You can analyze my gut content. I know your mom owns an X-ray. It's fine. Holly, welcome to the stream again. Consistent viewer. This is great. We're really accumulating lots of regulars, and plus, all of you are helping me look way more inclusive. People think that this is a whole, cold bowl water, that the whole what, that trend, the alpha male water plunge morning routine thing. I don't know what it's called. People think that the paper reading. I've gotten some accusations with some of my customers at Pizza Port that this is a kind of a staple of the alpha male internet content creation thing. However, all of you are helping me shift those statistics in the other direction because now I have checked the analytics. 52% of my viewers are female, which is awesome. I know like half of those are probably robots, but that's really cool. So, I'm not particularly a feminist content creator. However, this accusation that I'm making content exclusively towards men and that it's appealing towards men, no. Every single aspect of my content is very meticulously planned and laid out. And the fact that 52% are women, thank you very much. I think we can put that Paul Bunyan tall tale to rest. I got my notifications on for. Thank you so much. Cheers to that. I almost spilled water on my goddamn keyboard. That would have been the end of the live streaming series, which I know you're praying for, Jocelyn. I'm sorry, you're not an alpha male. Well, that is to be debated, but the real question is whether or not I drag that particular audience in, and it appears that I don't, I'm not making any claims here. Shy is not a robot. I may or may not be an alpha male. That's a dubious claim. And she does not own an X-ray. You're very literal minded, Jocelyn. And this is why we've known each other for so damn long. I was actually thinking a couple days ago, God damn it, I miss her. And I was like, I could reach out, but it's just life is so annoying. There's just a new fucking nugget of bullshit coming out of the big wrinkled asshole of life every week. And it takes up more of my damn time. So, I got to work on that. I'm going to work on that one. So sorry about not reaching out. I know people always worry. In fact, I remember I've talked to you before and you're like, did I fuck something up? Did I piss you? No. It's very hard to piss me off. And when you piss me off, that's when you hear from me, If I'm not pissed off, I'm just going to be the real asshole. I try to be the nicest person and try to be as open with people when they annoy me. When they don't and they do nothing wrong, I mistreat people who don't annoy me by being a very irresponsible and forgetful son of a bitch, and I ghost people and don't respond because I'm just very neglectful of my contacts, and that's on me. That's completely my fault. You have not wronged me, I promise. So I know, what the hell? We gotta link back up. I'll text you if I remember, or just text me and I promise I'll respond. Let's watch a fucking movie. Like, what? If you're pissed, I'm going to get a strongly worded voice message. Yes, that has happened before. Ask a couple people who I know. I'm no nonsense about that. Ugh. Jesus. All right. Yeah, you know, by the way, how are you doing? I know you moved, you escaped Mesa, which good on you. You got away from Jazz Ensemble and that whole community before it really went down the toilet. Like, you were in that community college community when it actually felt like a community, and then it just became, you know, passive aggressive side glares, most of the students versus one specific teacher. You might know who I'm talking about. I know you never had a problem with the fella, but I certainly did and do. Did and do. That's a funny little tell me the gossip right here on like, sure, okay. Well, when Angelo came in, he kind of created this weird musical hierarchy. There was this insane insinuation that there wasn't no groups were managed by the students, and it was just we were cycling between Tordella and Angelo going through and micromanaging everything. And instead of class being socialization, which in my opinion is more important than musical technicality, Jazz Ensemble became nothing but us sitting there listening to Angelo rant about music theory that he thought he knew. Doesn't even matter how much he really knew. It's just that that was in place of what I think created some of the best performances. What we all inevitably lacked in true musical cohesion and longevity, you know, some of us at least, we made up for with the fact that we knew each other, care about each other. And in order to get the time to do that, you know, it's a snowball effect. If you let us just do our thing, trust the students, and socialize in class instead of looming over us like a, you know, helicopter parent or horny uncle or something like that, instead of looming over us and hovering over our damn shoulders, we fucking like just coordinated. You remember those first 2 semesters. They were golden. They were some of the best times of my fucking life. We hung out outside of school because in class where we were supposed to hang out, that's the building blocks. We were stuck together, but we loved being there together. When they were looming over us and talking about A flat minor chords, we associated being with each other with not being allowed to talk to each other, not being allowed to socialize, and what the class essentially was learning standards, playing the standards, and the best jazz performance come from passion, and none of that was left. We might have been yapped at about a bunch of musical technicalities, but the people who are going to understand it and really get into it, if they're exposed to a little bit of it, music is one of those artistic mediums where you're going to go all the way, all 9 yards. If you only see 1/4 of a yard, you will want to research on your own time and get good at your instrument. You can't have people only bettering themselves significantly in the small window of time you have in class. You know, and again, I can say all these things to the school board, but it's just one of those one size fits all rules. Oh, it's just what you do. And Tordella, I love the guy, but he is so damn spineless within the school thing. The guy was clearly in it for the wage. So whether or not the class was good or bad, it was a complete accident. He never intended to do anything. It was worse than the micromanaging that I was. No, because your micromanaging was a form of socialization. You were actually engaging with us, and because you weren't a teacher and you were just a student, if we felt the need to, you know, respond back with a similar level of, say, social power, then a good number of us, the ones who cared, did. You know, Emerald and I first saw you as a mighty strange because of the way you micromanaged, but we understood that's who you are. Also, I'm a person who gets misunderstood a lot on first impression, so I totally am someone who, on principle, never judges based off the first interaction. I can make a couple of side comments and be like, oh, she's weird, but I always stick around to uncover the further layers, you know, of who you are. Oh, you mean when Tordella was micromanaging? No, no. When Tordella did it, it was funny. When Angelo did it, it became an actual borderline musical concentration camp. Like he had this whole fake deep. It's like, you gotta get those hits in. You know, the spirit of music lives within you. You guys, trust me, when you get older like me and your professional grade, then you'll know. And I'm like, come on, dude. Come on. Come on. None of this helps us. None of it helps us. Nothing, no amount of posturing and passive aggressive bullshit hierarchical establishing is going to replace, excuse me, the passion led and musical ties through social collaboration. That's what makes this type of music so great. Am I still in Jazz Ensemble? No, the clock's been ran out, man. I've been out of it for a while. I don't even remember when my last semester was. I think it was last semester. It sucked. It was so bad. Anyways, have I seen Sinners? I heard it's really good. I gave it a 5 out of 10. I've ranted about it multiple times, actually, in past streams. I think it's heavily overrated. I don't think it's bad. There are some aspects of it that are above average, and I think overall it's a really good thing that an R-rated original movie property is good, but I hope people are going to focus more on that part and less on the fact that it's Ryan Coogler and you have to be in the an MCU director in order to have the capabilities to direct something good. You have people like Ari Aster and even Isaiah Saxon and a bunch of other relatively under not Honora anymore because Sean Baker got his recognition from that, but like a lot of artists who are producing good art and film, and it's getting under recognized. And of course, this one gets recognized because this is a very unusual directing career where he starts off with 2 Black Panther movies, 2 dime a dozen factory formula Marvel movies. Then he makes an original property and he kind of shaves off like 1/3 of those generic aspects, but 2/3 of it remains. A lot of it is dime a dozen bullshit. And also the CGI just looks like a Netflix original thing. It's like if there were some practical effects, like, okay, my favorite movie so far this year is Alex Garland's Warfare. That's an incredible film. That's great. It's simple, to the point, very tense. One of the most intense movie experiences ever. I gave that an 8 out of 10. And there are some practical effects. I'm not going to spoil anything, but there's a particular leg injury that someone experiences. And the practical effects used are so fucking insane. And it appears to be a blend between CGI and practical effects. And they show you what's in this movie, like the wounds and the open wounds in this Warfare movie, which, by the way, the budget of that movie was 1/3 of Sinners because it was less reliant on CGI and contained a more leveled mix of both. When I looked at this leg injury, I was just like, holy shit. And there was some other stuff, some other pretty grisly images in this Warfare movie. And because, for one, it was built up, it didn't rush itself. Its pacing was pretty simple, to the point, nice and slow. It didn't fuck around. This Sinners movie, the pacing's all over the place. Even the biggest fans of Sinners have to recognize that the pacing is schizophrenic as hell. I got to get you to one of my jazz performances. Well, thank you. I wish people would play music with me. Come on, man. Don't get lonely here in this life. I mean, you can. There's nothing stopping you. You just got to find friends, you got to find people, network, go out there in public. I mean, the internet's cool and all, but I mean, whenever I go to college, I talk to so many people. And it's not like you have to be extroverted. You just got to be open in whatever interactions come by. Don't be standoffish. Be very open. I mean, that's quite a hefty, it just depends on who you are, I guess. It's quite a hefty request to make, but still, that's my personal advice. Like, nothing will replace, I think just people, because of internet culture. I actually saw a video, this really interesting video, essay on modern cringe culture, on how our generation, the younger generation, again, I'm 22, so I mean, I'm kind of on the edge of that, but I think I still count as the latest generation, Gen Z, they call it, right? I think I'm still in that generation. It's like cringe / anti-cringe culture. It's like insane post-irony. The people who wear Crocs all the time because they're scared of trying to genuinely approach fashion, and this is but a bit of an assumption. Some people just wear them because they like wearing them, but like it's this theory that people are ironically wearing Crocs, ironically wearing sweatpants, ironically wearing all these things that are intentionally ugly to avoid fashion criticism socially in their school environments, so that so that they can dress a certain way that kind of conforms, but also is ironic. It's a joke. It's intentionally looking bad. So hopefully it won't be a part of the whole tacky, oh man, that looked so 80s and out of date. I know it sounds convoluted, but this is a real theory. If I feel like if I was wording it less drunkenly right now, you guys would get it. But yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing that I'm saying. I think, and this has led, and also a lot of shit on the internet. Bro's really wearing Crocs right now. Bro's really dancing in public. All of this shit, all of this introverted, judgmental shit. It's like, okay, of course there are lots of really cringy ass videos of people doing outwardly ridiculous stuff, but those are outliers, not the norm. But when you're seeing nothing but those and seeing comments like, bro's really embarrassing himself in public, when you see that all the time, there's a certain point where you're like, damn, I really don't want to be cringe like these people. I'm so glad I don't do anything and don't fucking commit to any forms of self-expression, and all I do is sit on my phone judging people. Bro's really looking stupid in public right now in this cringe video. Like shit like that. Like there's got to be a certain point, and obviously culture is just reciprocal. So what you just said, Jocelyn, I'm cringe, but I'm free. This is what I'm talking about. And obviously, Shy, just because you wear Crocs doesn't mean you're participating in it. But also at the same time, you are, man, because anytime anybody's seen wearing stuff like that, it contributes to this other wave. You might not be a part of it, but it's just this interesting thing. I call it the basement dweller Gen Z mentality. because I think it's creating this wave. And because the internet spreads ideas and attitudes so quickly and so effectively, this whole like sitting there, not doing shit, being as fashion neutral, as personality neutral as possible, and doing the whole like the only contribution you have to society are posts going, looking at the cringiest people and looking at cringe reels, and they're going, bro's really dancing in public. And I see this in real life too. It's people who are just sitting there with their fucking Crocs on, and they're looking at other people, and anytime anybody does anything, it's just silent judgment and silent giggling. Tee hee hee. I know gossip, and I know that insecurity has existed throughout the ages. I know that's what adolescence is. That's why there's a word for it. It's one of the defining attributes of that life phase. However, these aspects are getting magnified by the internet right now. And I am seriously telling you, like, this is a trend I'm noticing, especially with the pandemic. I'm telling you, the pandemic fucked everybody up. It made people scared of the outside world. And I noticed when I was interacting with people on average in 2019 versus interacting with people now, there are so many shut-ins. People who, I mean, it's been like half a decade since that era. So you have people who were in elementary and middle school, extremely pivotal years of brain development, understanding social rules. And because things were so backwards and fucked up, now they're out in the real world, going through adolescence and approaching adulthood after the shut-in phase when everyone was locked down, and they're just sitting in the back of the room silently judging everybody, terrified of self-expression. Right? This is a pretty basic idea. I mean, there's been papers and New York Times articles written about the social deformation in a certain big cluster statistically in youngsters these days. In my generation, on the younger side of my generation, right? Because when this happened, I was already in my like final leg of high school, and I was basically like a couple years away from adulthood. So, I mean, I was still developing, still am developing. I ain't 25 yet, right? Male brain development stops at 25. Okay, let me check chat. What do you think about the Minecraft movie? 2 out of 10. However, it depends on who you're seeing it with. Like, I actually saw it twice because Dave and Dom and Randy agreed to pay for my ticket, went there, saw it with them. Way more fun than when I saw it with my mother. And my mother always expects actual entertainment. So she was just sitting there going, what the fuck? Why does the villager have realistic skin? So, if I was born 30 years earlier, I don't know what I would do. I'd probably die in the crack epidemic. No way seeing the Minecraft movie with Dom probably went crazy. Yes. Oh, yes. It was, dude, him and I ruined the entire dude, oh my God. After the Minecraft movie was over, I may have been a little intoxicated, and I went to a separate theater. It was like some sort of family drama, and it was like a sad scene where someone was talking about their grandma dying. And I was playing this YouTube video of the compilation of Yo Mama jokes, 500 plus Yo Mama jokes with Brody Fox yelling. And I was playing it at 0.75 speed. I didn't know that in a theater, in the particular acoustics of a theater, my shitty phone speakers could sound that fucking loud. It was so fucking loud. And oh man, this theater was almost packed. There were people who were trying to, we ruined their fucking day too. They paid full price for those tickets, man. They were looking back at me playing. Imagine you're trying to watch a movie and there's a pivotal scene and you hear in the background, "Yo mama, so stupid, she thought Nickelback was a refund." It fucking ruined everything. It was so bad. I'm actually still ashamed. But it was funny. I don't give a fuck. Whatever. It was funny. And then on top of that, I remember people were getting out of that movie, and I would just pull up Yo Mama jokes on my phone. And I'm like, dude, and for one, my outfit was perfect for this. I looked so stupid. I had like the zip up windbreaker. I looked like I just escaped from the Arkham Asylum, or like a camp for developmentally disabled young adults. But I fucking, where is it? I would just play them on my phone, and I would just go, dude, check this Yo Mama joke out. And they would sit there. They would stand there. Some of them neutrally. Others, they just wanted to crawl out of their skin and leave. And Dom and Dave and Randy. Dave ran away when I would do this. Dom was just frozen there. He's like, what the fuck? You're not real, Brian. You are not real. It was so funny. Oh, I got to do it again. It was great. It's so shit. It's such a bad bit. But there's something about it that it gave me life. What can I say? This was a while back. I watched way too many fucking YouTube videos. Let me see if I can find it. Just a lot of bullshit. Larry David pronouncing. I'm not even. This is really embarrassing. There's a surprising number of Ed Curry how to make the hottest hot sauce videos that I'm watching. Can I say, man, I got my culinary tastes. Where is it, man? Okay, well, clearly I just got to search it up myself. Yeah, there we go. I'm doing. You already know what this is gonna be. You know, I would. I would literally walk up to. I remember I walked up to this couple. It was this lady and this black fella, and I had the windbreaker. It was zipped up. I looked insane, and and the windbreaker is like half a size too big for me too, so it just looks stupid. But I would like wind it to a random joke. I wish they gave timestamps for these jokes. And keep note, you guys all know the original Yo Mama jokes, and so I would just go, and this would be at 0.75 speed too. Let me give you a reenactment of what this was like. There we go. Okay, imagine I walk up to you with my windbreaker. Okay, guys, this one's really good. You guys have to check this out, dude. You aren't even ready.
So fat. She doesn't need internet. She's already worldwide.
Fucking funny, you know. I would ham it up. I would hype up the Yo Mama joke. I remember the black fellow's like, "My man, give me a." We dapped it up to a really bad Yo Mama. It was great. It was great. It ended up being harmonious between me and the gentleman, but there was just every Dave and Randy and Dom were losing their minds. It was great. It's my best bit yet. I'm fucking. I'll do it again. And listen, some of the best bits happen spontaneously. So I was like, I don't even know what's going on, but you know, but now it's gonna be calculated. I'm gonna do this tonight. Ugh. Oh man, just thinking about the bit gets me giddy. So let me just take a deep breath. Okay, do not let Brian in public. This is what I'm expecting to see after giving that story. That's crazy. Watching you from India. Parth, you are a liar. I knew you were my fucking middle school drumline classmate from band in Degania. Nice try. Maybe Parth's a common name. Perhaps I'm racist. No, I don't think so. Parth, I know it's you. Get the hell out of here. You're telling me you moved back to India. Weren't you in Mesa like half a year ago? Come on, man. Social anxiety fears me. You know, I'm visiting India. Okay, well, fair enough. Well, it's nice to see you again. As far as I'm concerned, in spirit, you're right back where you belong, right here in steamy Southern California. In hell, I like to say. I remember I was told by someone who went to both New York and LA that like even the dirtiest, dumbest alleyways of New York are like better than, you know, the average shitty area in LA. Like LA on average is like one of the worst places. It's like really bad. A lot of cool stuff happens there, but I mean, it's kind of like the whole what is it? The big satellite field. It's like Earth, it can be pretty cool, but in order to get there, you got to weed through this giant fucking bubble of like satellite debris and all of this garbage that's just circling around it, you know. It's like if you drop a beautiful golden nugget in a big plate of dirty dishwater. It's beautiful, but it's surrounded by garbage. That's what I'm saying. It's way more hot in India. Now that I'm thinking about it, there are a lot of issues with India, economically speaking. Maybe LA is like, you know, a teaser trailer for the general areas of India. I'm sure it's a beautiful place, but I've heard many things about the public bathroom facilities there and the amount of mosquitoes with malaria. But maybe I'm misremembering. But that's good. It's good. It's nice to see you back there. LA is terrible. Never lived there. Yeah. I mean, I remember I was watching that Lion King 2019 review, and he was like, in real life, like just in real photography, beautiful skies are not common enough. So we try to make the movie more realistic by making every single sky cloudy, gray, dilapidated. I'm like, oh, that makes sense because you live in LA. I'm like, yep, that makes more sense. Hello, gang, dude. All except for Parth. Parth and Rex, you're the two fellas here. We are at 52.4% female when it comes to our watching analytics, which is insane. This is great. Everybody's coming in and contributing. If I remember correctly, MIC, you are female. Not that it would matter in any other context. It probably would in certain contexts, but in this specific context, very, very important. You bring in my stats up, all right? You're dispelling the tall tale that I make alpha male content. Yes, I am. This is the shit I'm talking about. I come in here to tell you to stop eating paper. You're doing a bad job. It's been like what? Like 15 minutes, and this is the first time. Well, thank you. Thank you. I'll stop at day 1000. That's my response. It is now thundering where I'm at right now. That's a really good way to describe it. Thundering. It's very simple yet succinct. I'm gonna fucking pin that actually. I mean, I feel like I've lived a whole life. You think I would have heard someone describe it like that? You haven't been eating it. Dude, rewind the streams. Look at what I've been doing this whole time. I know I don't make it obvious. I know I don't do the whole cartoon character like, oh, yeah, but I'm eating little pieces. I don't know if you realize this, but this is not the first one I've had today. I'm doing it all the damn time. Do I drink alcohol? Yeah, I try to do it with moderation. Like, trust me, given my susceptibility to intoxication and its negative side effects, if I really was drinking at an unhealthy level, I would be dead. I'm only drinking at a slightly unhealthy level. This is a terrible response to that question. Yes, I do. Fuck it. I should probably stop. I should moderate more. Trying to make excuses for myself. What originally inspired me to eat paper? Great question. I'm glad I'm still here. I'm glad this 50-minute long stream is actually panning out here. We're getting good questions. It was in retaliation to my father censoring my main channel. If you look at my main channel, I know it doesn't have as many subs because I'm not as consistent on there as I am on here. But there is plenty of masterpieces. In my opinion, my best works I've made on the internet on good content. And there was a 50 subscriber special. We called it the toilet vlog special. This is when I was 16. I showed my ass for like 2 seconds. It wasn't even like an open ass crack. You weren't seeing inside. There was no colonoscopy element to it. It was just a brief shot of the side of my exposed ass, which is like literally 2 seconds. My dad made a big deal because I was 16. I'm like, you can't do that. I'm like, I'm shitting though. I'm like, I had to show that I was shitting. They were going to think I was a faker if I didn't show my ass. I didn't even show shit coming out of my ass. It was just, I was on the toilet and I saw my ass for like 2 seconds. My dad censored the video. Again, I was in high school. Quite an era. I responded with, if you go back to day one of this series from 6 years ago, 2019, the original title was Eating a Sheet of Paper a Day Until My Father Lets Me Upload on My Original Channel Again. And yes, we have talked about this. It's just because a newer viewer, MIC, wants to know the context. Yes, I know. It's kind of an auto-generated answer. I've answered this question many times, but it's always a fun story to tell, and I always find different colorful ways. Like I was really defending the ass shot. In retrospect, it was, yeah, I get it, Don't do that. Paper can kill you. I would focus on the negative health effects of being in India in general, but I appreciate the concern. We are ending at day 1000, mainly because, yes, I do think that there's got to be some sort of negative long-term effect. I'm amazed I'm still alive right now. A beer is more healthier than paper. Incorrect, actually. Again, my team of researchers, including Dr. Rathbun, we've analyzed all this shit. Literally, we've used some tweezers to poke around in my shit, and we have found that the paper comes out nearly the same way it came in. Now, people talk about bleach, how there's bleach in paper. And here's an interesting fact. Drinking water that is filtrated per every liter, there is about 1.5 to 2 drops of chlorine or bleach in the water, which is less than in 3 sheets of paper, and we're supposed to be drinking 7.5 liters of water every fucking day, according to Google. But again, this is from generative AI and it's experimental, but I believe that's around the amount. So we got to drink over 1 liter of water, and we are truly ingesting and absorbing more bleach in a healthy day's amount of drinking water than 3 days of eating paper. So the bleach content, we don't got to worry about that. All we have left to worry about is the disorder called pica, which I am not susceptible to because I eat paper for very specific reasons. I encourage people on my stream to not engage. Also, it is now raining. Well, when it was thundering, you should have known, I'm sure you did. And also esophageal and stomach cavity ruptures. Now that's a little more of a concern. We're keeping the paper sizes small and crossing our fingers and hopefully our toes. I'm not that flexible. I can't do that, but we're crossing everything and hoping that nothing gets, in an awkward place in my stomach lining. So far it hasn't. And this is my beer belly. So if you're talking about like the visible changes in my body that could be seen as unhealthy, this is directly tracking with my increased beer consumption and nothing involving paper. So I would argue that alcohol is generally worse than a thing that passes through, which is no reason to incite people to do this regularly, all right? Only under professional supervision with professional training. Thank you, Shai. You understand. What about weed? I have no opinion on weed. I'm not even a weed person. There have been some studies that show that it fucks you up long-term. Other studies show that it helps, Heart circulation. I don't know. A bunch of information all over the place. Don't make me invite you over for a spaghetti dinner. Oh, don't you dare. I would have hated. I would hate a free dinner. If you don't stop at day 1000, I'll start crying. No, no, no. I'm actually concrete to this. It's going to be over. You know, I'll be retired. I'm retiring at day 1000. What is that gold? Oh, this was a New Year's Eve balloon that Emerald helped install for our big New Year's Eve party like a year and a half ago. We've had like 2 or 3 more parties here, and we still forgot to take it down. Like, believe it or not, here, let me see if I can show you this. If you see that little thing right there that says Happy New Year, which is still very relevant if you really think about it. I was there. Yeah, exactly. I knew you'd recognize that. Okay. Any plans for regular content after day 1000? I am so glad you asked because I want to do something involving OBS, which is a regular streaming show. I can connect it to certain browser tabs. I can do like PowerPoints. I wanted to have a time to make longer streams. Like I'm thinking 2 to 3, even if I'm feeling frisky that day, 4 hours. And I get to talk with people, longer form. Notice how people are really getting into the stream the longer it goes, right? And this is an unusually long stream. It never goes this long generally, right? Normally we end at like half an hour. So if I do longer streams, more engagement, more consistency. I'm thinking like 3 to 4 streams a week. It won't be as regular. If I can do it every day, I would love to. But I mean, I just don't have the damn time. But I really would love to engage as much as possible. So like on the days that I do stream, I'm going to try and start at like I'll try and find a consistent time. I don't know what my schedule is going to bloody be in 104 days, but I'm going to connect it to OBS. There's going to be graphics. There's going to be green screen shit. There's going to be PowerPoint. I'm going to have all the things sorted out. It's going to be great. I have some ideas. It's going to take a little extra work, but again, working's what I'm all about. I'm such a damn hard worker, as you can see. I'm quitting my job, but Brian drinking a glass of water. Yeah, eating an apple a day so the doctor doesn't tell me that I'm gay. Day 1 out of 1000. Yeah, I would love to do that, but I mean, come on, we gotta drop the gimmicks. As much pull as that would have, I'd like to rely exclusively, like most of the big streamers that are big. Not that I would get anywhere close to as big as they are, but people click on them because they know that they are a person with a personality. And I'm kind of using that as my crutch. I'm gonna be like, okay, hopefully people like actually appreciate me for me. Very few people actually comment on the paper unless they're new and they're like, why are you doing this? You know, but most people who are regulars here, they're talking to me as me. And that's significant. That's the thing I noticed. I'm like, okay, so they're not here just for the paper, right? They're not just here because they saw a funny condom review and we're like, oh, that's funny. Okay, I'm going to leave and never look at it again. That was a significant number of people because, you know, in that way, maybe my persona didn't have as much pull. But there are people here because they socially see some sort of benefit. And that's significant. And it also just makes me like enjoy the stream a lot more. Like it adds value to my life. So it's like I like connecting with people. So what I want to do is try and I don't want to use the C word, but capitalize off that. And hopefully I can do like a stream thing, create some title, ranking every ethnicity from best to worst, something like that, some bullshit. But they'll know it's me because it'll have my name on there. It'll have the picture on there with me being bald and staring at the camera menacingly. It'll have every piece in place. They'll know it's me. They'll know it's me talking, which is the majority of what the stream is anyways. You know? I'm ready for that day. Yeah, I watched that video. Yeah, I know. I'm actually excited thinking about it. The future looks bright. Unless I choke on that piece of paper and die, which is possible because we got 104 pieces left to eat. I do believe that we can make something special together. And again, without your guys' motivation, I don't think I can do it very well, you know? So I'm excited. OBS is a little weird. Every time I do a stream on there, people are less engaged. Whenever I do just live streaming on here, the actual YouTube software, there's a lot more traction and there's no chat delay. So it doesn't take me 10 and a half seconds to respond to each chat, which is really annoying. So those might be defects that will persist past this point, but like, if I find solutions to them, I will most definitely try and take care of it. And I still get pretty fair engagement sometimes. It's just I have to stream consistently at the right time. And, you know, regardless of whether or not it's OBS or something else, there's been traction there too. So I think if I use the software and use the graphics and I connect it to like Google Slides and I get to give my exhibitions or air out ideas or do like little shitty bits and try and be funny or whatever, like experiment with ideas because the idea of live streaming with OBS and being able to tool graphics and, drag stuff in or look stuff up on the internet, there's so many possibilities for that, right? Imagine putting that on in the background, eating a bag of chips, cuddling with your girlfriend, with me on in the background, talking about whatever, and you can type in chat, put your thing in, and it's not just my stream no more. It's all of our streams. We are all contributing. You put something in, I'll try my best to not, miss it, That's what I want to do. That's what I want to do, and not have it be like, oh, look, this fucking idiot's eating paper and also talking. Audie says hi. She says my hair looks good. Yeah, it's this weird haircut thing we're doing every like 5 to 6 weeks. I don't like it. I want to be bald again. That's what I want. But whatever. I'll shave it all off at some point. I just keep forgetting. I'm a lazy man. But yeah, for some people say that it's a nice prep school look, and which is stupid because I'm trying to look older right now so that YouTube doesn't disable my comments. They keep doing this shit because they think I'm like they think I'm a minor still, even though I got the scars to show for age. I'm getting wrinkles. Look at those aren't wrinkles. Those are dark circles. But I'm like, and also the hair, just surface level things make me look older. This haircut does not help me look older. This is not helpful, but my mom doesn't want for me to look like a hobo or something like that, even though it has its internet benefits. So it's like, whatever. I guess just please, content ID. I'm not a minor. Stop marking my shit as having minors in it. I am 22 years old. Let the record show. Do I need to show you my ID to prove it? Whatever. Get a mohawk. Do not go back to bald. Okay, hold on. I don't want to be murdered by Audrey. All right, so maybe just well, whatever. I'll figure out what to do with this mess of my hair later on. But I gotta end the stream here because I gotta go to work. It's just, I hate work so fucking much. Such a dead area. Only 3 more shifts, including this one. All right, we're gonna count down 3, 2, 1, and done. All right. So thank you so much for watching day 896 of eating a sheet of paper a day. Make sure to live, laugh, cry, and also not die. And until next time, this is goodbye. Shouts out to Rex, Shy, Momo, Moses. I hate that name. No offense, Moses. I like Moses better. I like your God-given name more. Grace, Jocelyn, Parth, my old middle school drumline classmate. Holly, shout out to you, fist bump right there. Am I missing anybody? There's like someone who popped in for 2 seconds. Ian 30, how about that? Came in for a little cameo. And Mike. And that's everybody. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming in. Make sure to live, laugh, cry, and also not die. And until next time, this is goodbye. I just got an idea. I'll do shorter form streams on here with no software, and I'll name that like, I don't know, The Case Show. That's a terribly egotistical name, but that'll stick for now. And then when I'm streaming with OBS, they'll be longer with graphics, and it'll be like, this is a placeholder, but ranking every ethnicity, the Brian Case Show plus. It'll be like normal show, normal boring show with just me talking, and then it'll be like the Brian Case Show plus, like, the normal show, but plus more, plus graphics. That's actually, I'll have 2 types of show. That'll be interesting, right? Shorter, just me, boring green screen with nothing on it, and then one with graphics, longer with green screen, with visuals, with PowerPoint presentations, with videos, with browsing, with all that stuff. Let me know what you think. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow. That'll be day 897. And I'll see you tomorrow. I already did the outro. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. Okay, goodbye. Fucking, yeah.